Welcome to Health and Wellness Wednesday. And this is Be Well Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you taking time to come and join us this evening. Now, if you happen to be watching on Facebook, please share this video out to your friends and the groups that you belong to. Tonight, we're going to be talking about navigating mental health. Mental health issues these days are very prevalent. A lot of people are dealing with a lot of difficult things today, particularly as a result of the COVID-19, having to stay at home, calling it whatever you want to call it, quarantine, the social distancing. There's a whole lot going on, and a lot of people are struggling with it. We're having to learn a new way to interact with people, to utilize new health care habits to try and boost our immune system, prevent from coming down with this COVID-19, and try and be healthy. Now, that's what this show is all about. We deal with your health and wellness because it's important to us and we care about you. Here at the LWN Live with Nature Foundation, our goal is to help you become a better you. And so we appreciate everybody that's joining us tonight. I think we've got a great show lined up for you. We're going to be talking about navigating mental health issues through alternative medical therapy. I have a special guest this evening, Leah Lang, and she's going to be talking with us about how she is helping her clients and patients navigate the mental health issue as well as many other aspects of healthcare. She's been doing this for a very long time. She's actually a advanced practice nurse and a family nurse practitioner. She graduated from the University of South Florida in 2012. She's been training and she's very experienced in functional medicine. And she's been doing that for over 23 years. Her focus is to treat the individual as a whole being, a person. And she believes that trust and rapport are mandatory for helping people by developing a relationship with them and help them to find healing. Nutrition in relation to health and well-being are an important factor of this. Leah is passionate about finding peace through purpose. She likes to go outdoors. She enjoys nature. Of course, that's what we love here is nature. That connection to nature, that's healing as well. And her current endeavor is to continue her nursing practice and do research in neuroscience. And this next one, bear with me, it's a hard one. Psychoneuroimmunology. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that. She's going to educate us. We're going to learn, and as a result, grow and be able to better take care of ourselves and navigate the mental health issues as well as just boosting our immune system. We're going to be talking about gut health as well and how that interacts with thinking. And so I am proud to introduce you to Leah, and without further ado, let's bring her on into the studio. Welcome, Leah. How are you?
I'm well. Hi, Stephen. Hi,
Good evening.
everyone. Hi,
Yes.
everyone.
Now, remember, everybody, I asked you to share this out if you're watching on Facebook. We want you to
Yes.
do that. You can certainly watch this. We are streaming on the E360 TV platform. If you have a smart TV, you have Roku, or you have Fire TV, or Apple or Android TV, you can download that app. You can watch us there. There's a library of the shows as well. And you could as well watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on the Facebook page. You can watch us on our live streaming tab on our website. And so, we're just excited and we're glad to have you with us this evening, Leah.
Yes.
Yes. So we're talking about this evening, we're talking about navigating mental health. And I know that's a special area of caregiving that you give. And I guess maybe what you could do is start to tell the viewers a little bit more about yourself.
Thank you so much, Stephen. I
You're
feel
very
honored to be here, honored to be able to share with you and the viewers that are coming on. And I just, this isn't really my comfort zone to be on live and sharing like this. But when you called me last
Mhm.
week, I knew I needed to come on here and just share with you I've been watching some of your devotions in the mornings and some of the messages that you are sharing, the messages of hope, the messages of love, the messages of connecting with others and nature, and just finding that peace and joy within. So when you called me, I said, I need to say yes to this opportunity and be on here with you and share the same message. Um, yes, I've been a nurse practitioner for the last almost 9 years. I've been a nurse for over 20 years. I have worked in mostly primary care. I've worked um, with Dr. Leggett for the last 9 years, Dr. Karen Leggett. I worked in primary care and post acute care and extended care, working with the elderly for the last 5 years. But I've had my own practice. I have taught. I currently have a teaching position at Nova Southeastern University. I'm working with nurse practitioner students while they're in training. And I've done a lot in my career. I want to continue on, like you said in the introduction. I do want to go back to school. I want to continue to learn about the power of our minds, the power that we have within ourselves to create, basically to create our environment, to find wellness, to find wholeness, to find a place of thriving and purpose. I believe that we're here. We have this opportunity to be here in this life just to, to experience life and to thrive, not just to survive and not just to go through the motions of day to day and manage all the things that come at us and just try to keep our head above water. I believe we need to really try to, rise above that and find our purpose and see all the amazing, I call it mysterious magic around. It happens all the time, all around us. So I just want to share that with others. I really do.
I could tell that your passion. Now we met. I want to say about a month or month and a half ago down at Age Vital, um, Dr. Jenny's Wellness Center there. And so you were the person that helped me boost my immune system by doing one of these IV vitamin C and glutathione drips. And boy, I just tell you, I felt so good after doing that. I mean, that was such an awesome thing. Maybe you can talk about how these IV drips can help us and boosting the immune system and how that leads to, better health, better thinking, because I know you mentioned thinking, and I'm just a big believer that I know that really everything is created by thought.
Yes.
That through thought we can heal ourselves as well.
Yes.
But there's some things that people can do. They don't necessarily have to go get this IV, but maybe you can tell us about how that they can boost that immune system, get this gut health working better, and obtain some better health and try and prevent this COVID-19.
Well, it is about having a healthy immune system right now, the whole picture, healthy mindset,
Right.
healthy outlook. Um, that's just one of the ways that we can keep our immune system strong. We can eat organic foods, stay hydrated, have a healthy gut so that we can absorb the nutrients from the foods that we eat. The IV nutrition, IV vitamins and amino acids, antioxidants like glutathione, those are absolutely beneficial and can help whether prevent COVID or a multitude of conditions can be caused by inflammation and a weakened immune system, not just COVID.
So this glutathione, so that the viewers can maybe understand that if they're not familiar with glutathione, that's an antioxidant, I understand.
Yes.
And so that's going to attack the free radicals, the things that are going to try and kill the healthy cells, right? And so by doing this, it's a major boost of C, as well as it was a boost of the glutathione to help balance out the chemical makeup of I have to learn here too. I am learning every week. I get to learn more. So maybe you can explain that, the glutathione aspect of this.
Well, glutathione is really good for gut health. It helps with the lining of the gut. If we have healthy gut, then when we eat, we absorb. And if we don't have a healthy gut, we may not absorb the nutrients from the food. So that's one reason IV nutrition or administration of these vitamins and antioxidants is helpful, because it goes directly to the bloodstream. Not everyone can afford IV infusions. Not everyone can get out. But if you keep that gut healthy, you can absorb your foods better. We need a multitude of vitamins right now. We need vitamin C, we need vitamin D, we need a lot of the B vitamins. Those are just some vitamins you can get over the counter. You can get them at local health food stores. Um, you can ask your doctor. Most primary care doctors will check the vitamin levels in your blood, and insurance covers it. So you don't have to go out and get really expensive tests. There are tests that can check all the vitamins and nutrient deficiencies. I know Dr. Jenny, she has those in her store. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Karen Leggett, the doctor I work with, she has a website and she offers that, where people can reach out to her and get the testing of hormones, neurotransmitter testing. Dr. Jenny does that as well. But those tests are somewhat expensive, and sometimes that can cause even more stress and anxiety to people who can't afford it, and they think, well, I need that. And if I don't have that, then my immune system is not going to be strong. So, what I really wanted to focus on today and
Yeah.
right now is just to talk
Yeah.
about the mindset and the power of believing that we can be well, believing that we have it within us to find that joy and peace through connecting with others, connecting with nature, connecting with source, God. Some people, call it a lot of different things, but it's the creator of the universe.
Right.
We have the opportunity to connect with that. And our bodies were made to be well. Our bodies were made to be strong. And our bodies were made to heal themselves. We just need to know what it needs to, boost it and get it back in rhythm of health. And
Well, if you're
we actually
not
can do that with our minds alone. We really
right.
can.
Now, I also wanted to mention to the viewers, if you have questions or if you got a comment, feel free to put that into the comments, and because this is an interactive broadcast, and so we'd be happy to take your questions as well. So put them in the comments. Step into that fear. If you don't do comments, do it. Go ahead, ask. We'll give you some free advice, and it's more not me. It's Leah. She's the professional, and that's why she's on the show this evening. And we really, again, appreciate you for coming. Now, why don't we talk about how thinking, boosting that immune system might help us with respect to mental health issues that we might be experiencing?
Well, what's going on right now is a pandemic of stress. Even before the pandemic of COVID, people were living busy lifestyles, handling a lot of stress. Um, People are busier than probably ever before with a faster pace lifestyle in general. We have environmental and all kinds of toxins that we're exposed to every day in our environment. So stress is real. Right now people are being laid off of work. They're having to be isolated. They're having to be bombarded constantly with the fear and anxiety of this virus that could be detrimental to our life and to those we love. So, that in and of itself is very stressful. All the changes that we're looking at, just the change of the way we interact with people, the way we connect with people, it's changing at a rapid rate, and it's going to continue to change at even a faster rate. I feel, especially as we have more advanced computers, more advanced technology, the advancement of AI, and just
Mm-hmm.
I think things are going to be changing at a very rapid rate, and change is a stress in and of itself. So when we stress is inevitable. We have stress. So learning how to deal with that and how to manage that and how to cope with that and how to balance the stress in our lives will really help us overall in our health and our well-being. So stress is detrimental to our health. I think I just already said that, but it is more, I mean, we don't, in general, I don't think we understand the effects of stress. I know it's been talked about a lot over the last few years, and we've been doing more research on the topic. There's a lot of, you could go online and Google the effects of stress. There's a lot of people talking about it. I was just listening as I was getting ready for work yesterday to a podcast by Deepak Chopra. He has written 90 books on the topic of stress and how to manage it and the effects of it on our body. Dr. Joe Dispenza is one of the doctors I follow. There are many, many doctors out there, and not just doctors, but researchers looking at the effects of stress on our body and our health and well being. So, learning to manage that is crucial. So, a couple things that I wrote down as yesterday, you'd asked me to
Yes.
on, and so I've just been kind of mulling over what am I going to talk about, how to manage stress.
Well, I know that you mentioned that like a lot of people are dealing with stress. I mean, I'll admit that I've dealt with some stress. I've had a couple of weeks here that were pretty stressful. I wouldn't necessarily say that it was related to the COVID-19, but I know that so many are struggling
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
And it's so I want them to know that there's opportunities for people that you can reach out
yes,
to help you with this.
yes,
And that's a really important factor. But there's things that you can be doing at home that are going to help you. We talked a little bit about that. So my point would be like, what is it, hormones that activate the stress or the neurochemicals that bring on the stress?
well, it
Or
all
is
works
that the
together.
thinking? Is
It
it just that?
all it all works together. But
Mhm.
believe it or not, thinking activates the parasympathetic or the sympathetic nervous system in and of itself. So
Right.
finding balance with that, learning how to balance that with our thoughts is good practice. Learning, if you have never learned to meditate or just to be still and to be quiet and to find that place of peace. And it's a cycle, it's a vicious cycle actually. The more you are stressed and have fear and anxiety, it leads to depression because you're not processing that anxiety and that fear. And people find themselves in these places where they haven't experienced the feelings of joy and happiness and health and wellness. And when they're not able to even manage at that level, it's more difficult to get to that level up here, at the top of the triangle where we're reaching our purpose and helping others and reaching
Mhm.
our self actualization. So we got to really get past that first level and learning how to manage the stress. And
So part of it would be, I think, is the input that we're taking in.
yes,
I've recommended that people be very careful, particularly about the news. I mean, I just
yeah,
literally stopped watching
yeah,
news um, because it's just not worth it. You
yeah,
feel worse after, and you got
yeah,
what, 1 minute or 35 seconds of a good story.
yeah,
So it's input.
yes,
Surrounding
yes,
yourself, I think, with positive people,
yes,
positive thinking,
yes.
and
And
it's a
acting, we have to be the example. I feel we have to, those of us that understand the power of love and the power of connection with others and the power of spreading hope. Love is contagious, hope is contagious. So if we can spread that just by little acts of kindness. I know my son and I, we were in Savannah, Georgia just the other night. We were walking along the street. We were a little stressed, new place. We were trying to find some place to have dinner, and we didn't know the area. It was a new area, and my son dropped his mask in the road, and it was wet. And he picked it up, and um, this young woman, pulled up in her car and asked out of her window if she could give us a clean mask. And that little act of kindness, that little act of kindness just was, it meant so much. We just calmed down and we ended up having a great time. Not that that was the only factor, but it was a big factor because in that moment we were feeling stressed and we were, taking it out on each other. And that woman doing that, it was just like, oh, there's nice people everywhere, even in Savannah, Georgia, in the city. Like
That's a
it was
beautiful
just
place
such
from
a
everything. Yeah, I've heard it's a beautiful town too. It's got a lot of history too as well.
yeah,
Sounds very exciting.
yeah,
Um, Now you've been not to get really off track too much here, but yeah, I mean, everyday situations can come up that
yeah,
can stress us, and it always seems like it's the smallest little thing that's not related to anything, and if we just let it go, it'd be okay, it'd be better, but we
yeah,
don't, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So it is about releasing that negative thinking, isn't it?
And believing, setting intention. A couple of my biggest lessons for last year, and it's strange because of how things turned out for this year, but last year I did a lot of reflecting on what were my biggest lessons. And two of my biggest lessons were that struggle is necessary, pain is necessary, change is necessary for growth and for learning and for finding peace and solitude and finding that there is a power that's bigger than just ourselves and our own understanding. Um, so when things are easy and everything's comfortable, I think it's easier for us to just kind of float along and not really try to learn or grow or learn about ourselves or learn about others or learn about how important it is that we come together and work together, especially with what's going on right now and just seeing the division and the lack of unity in a sense. So we really need to see like these things that are happening are necessary, maybe necessary for us to realize that we need to come together and unite and be open to hearing each other and listening to each other and seeing things from multiple perspectives, not just our own. Because we have to understand that, our experience is our experience. Everybody has a different experience. Every single person on this planet that has ever lived, their experience is different. So we have to understand that when we're listening and trying to empathize with people. I feel like right now that everybody is doing a lot of talking and wanting to be heard and wanting to people to see things the way they see them. And I think if we want to be heard, we have to listen. So it works that way. If we really want to others to hear us and to know us, then we have to listen to others and we have to hear what they're saying and be empathetic to what their journey was or their journey is. um, I don't remember where I was going with that, but
About community, about connection, even
yes,
though there's
yes,
these, and the whole, the word social distancing,
yeah,
and immediately says, oh, you got to stay away,
hmm,
and
yeah,
people are freaking out. Oh, if you're coughing, it's like, oh, I'm going to be worried now.
yeah,
Um, it's a terrible situation, but I've tried like yourself, and I think that that's what brought us together is that it's about, this is an opportunity to come together, not to separate,
yes, yes,
you know,
yeah,
because together, this hope, this recognition that, I mean, we might not like it, but we can use technology like we're using right here, right
yes,
now,
yes,
to reach out and let people know that don't distance yourself and cut yourself off from society.
yes.
People need each other.
We do need each other. We need each other now more than ever. I was listening to a audiobook recently. It was by Harari. It was called Homo Deus, and it's a brief history of tomorrow. He talks about history, but also talking about what tomorrow could look like with the advancement of AI and how the computer can know us humans like so well that they they could know us better than we could know ourselves. So it's going to be very important that we as humanity come together and continue to think for ourselves and know what we think and why we think it. But we have to do that together and united. If everybody has a different opinion, we can't come together and make change. So he was also saying in the book that that's what sets humans apart from animals. Like humans can work together. Humans need each other to work together. You can put 100,000 people together and they can do amazing things. If you put 100,000 chimpanzees together in one spot, it's going to be complete chaos because they don't communicate with each other the way we can communicate with each other, and we can come together and really work together and make change for the positive when we work together. And
And I think you nailed it when you said it's about being empathetic and listening.
yes,
And I use this, 2 ears and one mouth. And I gotta apply this. I gotta remind myself of this sometimes
yes,
because I'll want to talk. And it really is an issue of listening. And that's an act of love.
yes, it is. It absolutely is. Being able to be empathetic
Yes.
and to hear other stories. So I was at work yesterday. I'm still in training. I'm here in
Hmm.
Virginia. I'm on
Nice.
my first travel assignment. I took a 12-week travel assignment to rural area in Virginia. It's beautiful. It's right in the Shenandoah Valley, right between the Appalachian Mountains and the Blue Ridge Mountains in a valley. Beautiful area. So I'm going to be doing employee health for a factory that makes medical equipment. So I feel
Very nice.
incredibly blessed because I get to get paid to come and see beautiful country and help people with their health and wellness and just in a sense kind of help calm people's fears and in this time.
I can see out the window there. You got a
Yes,
beautiful
yes,
backdrop
yes.
outside. It's like,
I
oh,
set I set up by some greenery. We're gonna be I'm going to be exploring. There's a lot to see here in this area, but beautiful mountains and beautiful nature. So, what you're doing is sharing the importance of connecting with nature. So, I've
yes.
I've always known this concept, but I didn't quite truly understand it. A couple years ago, I stumbled upon a book. It was written by a psychiatrist. His name is Dr. Philip Chard, and he wrote a book. It was titled "The Healing Earth: Nature's Medicine for the Troubled Soul." And what he would do is people would come to him with different conditions of anxiety, depression, mental health conditions, and he would prescribe them different activities that they had to do in nature. And then he was documenting their story and how it just cured them, literally cured them. So it is important that we connect to nature and understand how we're all connected. All,
It's
yeah,
amazing to me how many people have come to me and said, I just love hearing the birds singing and how it can stir up memories of when they were young.
hmm
And I know for myself, things have changed a little bit. The kids tend to use technology more these days and not get out into nature, not go play outside like they used to.
hmm
Um, and so that's a new aspect of having children. Certainly that creates stress. I'm certain I know for myself, I stress over the fact that, my granddaughter spends, I think, too much time on technology and not just get outside, although she likes to. Who doesn't like to go to a park? And yet
yeah.
today we can't even go to the park, in some
There are
places.
places we can still get outside though. We can there are lots of places where there's not a congregate of people, so you can find those places. But
Right.
it is important that we're getting the vitamin D from the sun and just the fresh air, and very important that we get out.
It is. I mean, I've even suggested for people, if you can't go anywhere, because different areas are locked down in different aspects.
Yes.
I mean, I talked with a friend the other day that's in Texas. Um, can't think of the name of the town, but Southwest Texas. Bottom line is, the park was full of kids the day before. They closed down the park. Now all the kids, nobody there.
Mhm.
But you can take a walk down the sidewalk.
Yeah.
You can go out into your yard. You can do something with the garden or do some weeding. I know that sounds like a lot of fun, right, everybody? Go pick some weeds. But
It is
do
fun.
something.
I would say it's my therapy to be out working in the garden, in the yard. It is
Yeah,
like therapy for me.
it is good therapy.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking for myself, um, I did find that, I mean, I really always enjoyed going camping, and I want to thank my dad for that, because he took us camping and he took me fishing, and I still love to do that stuff. And what the story I wanted to have you expand on and explain to me and the viewers is, okay, so at one point back in my days of coping through alcohol and drugs, um, I was diagnosed mild bipolar. And it was kind of like a surprise. It's like, really? Well, maybe I was volatile. I'm pretty sure if I asked any of the people that knew me, they'd say yes. But I didn't see it because, can't see the forest for the trees when you're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I didn't like the medications, and I didn't like the way that they made me feel. And so I'd stop pretty quickly. And what I found is that I just don't deal with those mood swings anymore. And I think that had a lot to do with the thinking. And maybe you can expand upon that. You can self-cure
Mhm.
by doing the right stuff.
Well, I
And
think
not,
we need to feel emotions. We have to feel the emotions. We have to feel the fear, the anxiety, all the emotions that come with loss or change or joy. We have to feel those things. Sadness, grief. We have to really, I think it's important that we do, because if we don't, then depression can come on, or anxiety, or a multitude of the mental health conditions that we medicate to help somewhat kind of, you know, modulate those, and in a sense
take
almost
the edge off.
kind of numb, and kind of just
Yeah.
help people not, you know, go up and down and all over the place, because they don't know how to manage those emotions or manage those feelings. But
See,
but
so I
we're
probably wasn't
supposed to
dealing.
feel those.
I
So
probably wasn't dealing with that stuff then.
yeah.
That's the other thing. I mean, my way of dealing was, okay, have another drink.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oops,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. That's not the answer, but you were trying to find a way to manage those emotions that you didn't know how to to to
to
you didn't know
manage
what
it,
to do
it
with
took a
them.
lot of
Yeah.
counseling.
Yeah.
It has,
Yeah.
took
Yeah.
counseling and surrounding myself with positive people, changing my thinking.
Yeah.
Um, that was super important.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you talked, and we got, if any of the viewers, if you're watching Facebook, if you have a question or you just have a comment or you want to know something about your situation, ask the question, put it in the comments, because this is an interactive broadcast. And those that are watching on Roku and that are watching on Apple TV or Android TV or Fire, we appreciate you. We appreciate everybody that's watching. Now, if you're on Facebook, remember to share this video out, share it to your friends. There's really good information in here. I was blessed to meet Leah, and therefore, as a result, I was motivated to bring her on the show and have her explain from a medical aspect. I mean, she's
Yeah.
a nurse, she's a caregiver, and you referred to HEART as an acronym, HEART. Maybe you could tell us about that.
Yeah, I would love to. So yesterday I was at work doing my online training, and as mulling over thoughts about today and what we were going to talk about and how it was going to go and what I wanted to share. But that's how it works. When we set an intention or have a question, we get the answer if we're looking. So I was doing my training, and one of the acronyms for how we resolve issues with customers is through the acronyms of heart. But this is also, I think this can be applied to anything in life, but how we connect with others. And H is hear. We can listen. We can really, truly try to hear what other people are saying. We want, like I was saying, we want to be heard. Well, we have to be able to listen to be heard. And the E is empathize, really trying to practice that empathy, trying to think of a story that maybe we had that could be similar to something that someone else went through, since we don't know exactly how other people's stories. The only thing we really have to relate to is our own story. So think of how we can relate. The A, I said, is apologize. Um, as a caregiver, one thing that I always want to do is I want to fix the situation, or I want to help someone like figure out like what they got to do to make it better. But a couple of my mentors are Brett Watson and Dr. Larry Bockham at Suncoast Community Church, and their message last Sunday is that it's better to cultivate that connection and to allow people to be vulnerable by just telling them, you know, I hear you. I'm sorry that you're going through this. I'm sorry that you feel this. Instead of using blanket statements like, I'll be praying for you, or everything happens for a reason, even though it does in a sense, but it's not a good statement. It kind of shuts people down and somewhat closes off that connection. So the R would be resolve, resolve to have a vision, resolve to set intentions for what you want, feel it, like use all the emotions involved in what you want, whether it be joy or love or connection with friends or family, or just people that you know, or even abundance, having everything that you need, having um, just feel the emotions involved. But setting that, resolve to set a goal and set your intentions on what you want or how you see things going, how you see your environment. And then lastly, T for thankful, practicing gratitude, practicing just finding in every situation we have a choice. We can choose to have gratitude and see the good in the situation, or we can choose a multitude of other choices. But when we choose gratitude, we can actually change our destiny. We can even change the past by choosing gratitude in that moment. So that was the acronym of HEART. Are you still with me?
I am right here. I just wanted to give you the focus there. That was so awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm absolutely still here. I just wanted to let you explain about that. That's so wonderful.
yeah,
Very informative. And if we apply this heart philosophy, that's going to help us have a better health and wellness and an outlook on things. I know that a lot of people are having a difficult time right now,
yeah,
particularly with their relationships.
yeah.
It might be the children, it might be their partner, it might be their spouse, it might be their mother or their father or brother or sister. People are at odds with each other.
Well, the stress doesn't help. The stress doesn't help.
Yes.
But if we can choose gratitude, say this, choose to be grateful with whether it's your family or your friends or even strangers that you meet, just choose in that moment to say what is special about this moment? What is amazing about, having my time right now? I have time, whether it's someone who's lost their job or you're not working or you're working from home, and that can be stressful, but you could choose in that moment to find, like, maybe you can find the passion that you've always wanted to do. Maybe you're not happy with the work you've been doing and you've wanted to shift, or maybe whatever it be, just try to find the goodness of the opportunity. Like, maybe it is a little stressful to have the kids at home and teaching them to be self learners, and we're not teachers. um, well, we are teachers, but we're not trained to be teachers of, whatever it be, elementary or high school. But take it as an opportunity to learn how to teach your kids and be that example. And you have an opportunity to homeschool. Not everybody gets to have that opportunity. So I don't know. I'm just saying,
So
take the moment right now to connect with those in your surroundings. Spread that love. Love is contagious. Spread it to the people around you. Believe. Jesus was the perfect example of that. He said we can have infinite possibilities if we can yet believe. Anything is possible if we can believe, and he was a perfect example of that. So
that's so true.
yeah,
And it's about having faith. It's about having blind faith. I know that
yeah,
because that's what I had to do is just turn over my will and my life over the care of God as I understood him, And I know we talked about that. And a lot of people refer to it differently. It's got all kinds of names, but it is that creative consciousness. It's that creative consciousness that created it all. And that tells us as well. Well, he said, that he created us in his image. So we have these abilities, like he said, to
yeah,
do anything.
yeah,
So you have to blindly believe it, whether it's true or not. This is where
yeah,
the setting the intention comes in, and this meditation and these affirmations
yeah,
come in.
yeah.
It really does. I wanted to go to the question here for
Okay.
you. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring it up on the screen. And in a moment here, I do want to acknowledge the viewers that I can see too as well. We certainly appreciate everybody that's taken time to come and join us. It really is awesome. I know I saw it here somewhere. Where was I going to go with this? Okay, I guess we'll step back a moment here. Randy's got a question for you, Leah. And what are some of the basic things people can do to avoid COVID-19?
Let's see. Social distance. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Keep your immune system strong. Um, I know that's a broad statement, a broad question.
It
But
is a broad question, and we've
yeah,
dealt with it, and so I love the way
yeah,
that you're doing that. You're just recapping all the things that
yeah,
we've watched, and
yeah.
everybody, you can go back and watch this.
And
We're
not
working.
be afraid. Not be afraid. That's probably the biggest thing we can do to avoid it is not be afraid. Fear in and of itself is it we find what we look for. We really find what we look for. And if we're afraid and we're looking for that, then before you know it, then we have it because we've almost in a sense kind of brought that on ourselves. I've
Mhm.
actually had that conversation with patients before. They don't like it, but when they do understand it, and they're like, "Wow, I have the power to actually change this," and they do, and they tell me, and I love when patients come to me and they're like, "Wow, Leah, you are really hard on me. I did not want to hear that, but I don't do it all the time. But sometimes I'm just like, you need to stop thinking this way. You need to stop looking for the pain and the whatever that you can't do. And you need to start saying, I can do this. And
Right.
yeah. So just don't be afraid. Don't be scared, but be cautious. Be aware. Keep the awareness. We don't have to watch the news all the time. I don't watch the news, but I get the information I need
Mhm.
through we get it.
Yeah.
I do try to keep myself aware. I
Go
read
to Twitter right now.
I read the news. I talk to a lot of people that are really keeping up with the numbers, but
Yeah, Twitter. I mean, you get the news before it ever becomes news, and I'm not necessarily promoting Twitter, but I did have a lot of fun out there and learned a lot and got to meet a lot of people
yeah,
actually, that's where I went to go and start following some of these top influencers, that are making a difference. And so I wanted to see what they're saying now. You talked about, and I know that there's a question about, somebody wants to know about the immune system. We'll go back to that. We'll recap in just a moment. But Deepak Chopra, you were talking about that. Maybe, or maybe I wasn't listening close enough. You could explain about that. How did that make an impact on you the other day?
well, I was at work doing my training. I wrote the quote down and I'm like, this is amazing. It's very simple, but it's so true. He said, "We must find a place within ourselves where nothing is impossible." I mean, he's a great philosopher and he's got a lot, like I said, he's written 90 books and he's got a lot of information out there. There's a lot of gurus out there on the topic, but that simple statement is so true. You know, just like Jesus said, it's all within us. We anything is possible when we believe. So we really need to think on the things that are true. Think on the things that are just joy. Think on those things. Think on the things that are beautiful and calming and peaceful and abundance. Just think on those things and don't think on the things that are scary and fearful, or there's a lot out there that's really can be scary. And we should be aware. We can be aware, but we shouldn't dwell on it and think about, we shouldn't.
That's the key. You
Yeah,
said it, is dwelling,
yeah,
upon that
yeah,
negativity.
yeah,
You just don't want to do that.
yeah.
You can
Right.
acknowledge the pain. And by the way, I love that you said painful, difficult experiences and challenges in our life, they're necessary,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yes.
we have two ways to go on it. We either go with it and it owns us, or we accept it and say, okay, that happened. Now I need to do something different. Yeah.
I like this analogy. So you can't see light unless there's darkness. So darkness
Right.
is necessary to see the light. So,
That's a very good point.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, because I know that that's what I say that, and I know that we are the light in the darkness.
Yes.
You know, some of us have experienced more difficult and darkness moments in our life than others, but it really doesn't matter because those were the ones when we got to thinking about it, made us stronger. We
Yes.
use that
Yes.
to then go
Yeah.
further in life than to,
Yeah.
well, for a long time I didn't until I recognized, hey,
Yeah.
that's a waste of time.
We have to, when we understand that concept, we can take accountability. And when we take accountability, we can make change
Excellent.
for ourselves and for those around us.
I agree.
Yeah, we have to be the example. When we can change ourselves and be the example, then those around us, we're not like trying to change them or control them in any way. But when we're the example and we take accountability and knowing that we can literally create our environment and create our destiny when we take accountability, when we're not shifting the blame or you know blaming this or blaming that or pointing the finger to that or you know even pointing the finger at this current situation and condition um, of our our economy and our health system,
Yeah.
and all that's going on. We can make the choice to say, things are really difficult right now. I'm gonna be scared and afraid and be afraid to move forward because of all that's going on, and it's because of what's going on. But we don't have to make that choice. We don't have
Mhm.
to make that choice. I'm not making that choice.
I'm not making that choice either. So, that makes two of us.
Yeah.
Who's with us here, right? Come on.
Yeah. Is
Come
there
with.
any other questions?
Okay. We talked about repairing relationships. Now, am I correct when I understood you really like to work particularly with children? Was that correct
No,
assumption?
I don't work with children much. I
You
love
don't
children.
work with children much.
No,
Okay.
I
So you
mostly work with
primarily
adults. Yes.
go ahead.
I mostly work with adults. And in
Okay.
the past 5 years, I've worked a lot with the elderly.
Okay, and then you're working now with corporations
Yeah.
and trying to work with their employees and educate
Yeah.
them is what you're doing, right?
Yes. Yes. But I just wanted to, on everything that we're talking about right now, talking about being love and being empathetic and being compassionate and spreading love, I would like to um, make myself available if anyone wanted to reach out to me personally or individually. Feel welcome. Feel you're welcome to. I I'm blessed in this position that I'm in because of the COVID. right now, I'm not doing a lot of like wellness visits. I'm mostly only doing sick visits, and so I have some time. I actually have time, so that's a good thing.
How,
I like to
how
stay productive too. So if anyone wants to reach out to me,
that's truly wonderful. I mean, I don't even know. It's so awesome that I don't even think I can come up with the right words for it. You're such a loving, caring, compassionate person. I'll tell you what, that is really, truly one of my questions that I hadn't asked. Now, you've been doing this for a long time. You've been studying for a way long time. You put a lot of effort into this. What was the epiphany for you that you decided, hey, look, I'm a caretaker. I want to help people. You're a healer, is what you are, as it's the way I see it. What was that epiphany moment that you said, or is that something that you always dreamed of doing since you were a little girl?
when I was about 12 years old, well, before that, I was a caretaker because I took care of my little sister and brother. But when I was about 12 years old, I used to labor over the decision. I'd be like, Daddy, should I be a teacher or a nurse? I truly labored at 12 years old. I didn't know what I should do, but um, when I was 16, I started taking care of an elderly lady in her home. So it just happened for me to be a nurse. I just followed that um, track. So I've been a caretaker for since I was 16, so quite a few years.
Yeah.
Kind of
Wow.
climbed the ladder. I got my LPN, and then I got my RN, and then I got my master's degree. And now I'm looking for a program to get back into school to put into. I would like to publish and get the word out there that all I've seen in the last 20 something years of practice and how people really truly heal when they feel heard and loved and cared about. So I'd like to just, share that. I want to share that. I want to continue to practice it, but to also share with others, especially as we become more and more roboticized with medicine. It might even be a different
Yeah.
discipline in the future, as opposed to like if I was sick, I would choose to go to a robot because they're going to have all the information, all of intelligence at their fingertip, and they'll be able to accurately diagnose me and accurately treat me. That's what I like, right?
That's awesome.
But
I know that
yeah,
the smartphones are intuitive, and I know that they're working diligently on the AI so they, know you better, know the way that you are. And then, of course, we can put tons of information. It's going to be so awesome.
yeah,
I'm looking for the word because it was such a big word. Psychoneuroimmunology.
yeah.
What is that?
That's a discipline of medicine, basically, where the immune system is affected by our psyche, by our mind.
Okay.
It's a pretty developing field of research and study and practice. So it's something that it's a program I'm going to be looking for.
Awesome. Awesome.
Continue
And so people can reach out to you. What is the best way to reach out to you? Yeah. How is it through email or just through Facebook or what would be the best? I mean, I don't want to put you out there if you don't want to be out there, but you kind of put yourself out there.
Maybe
So
just
how would they
message
reach
me
you?
here. Maybe just message me here on Facebook so that you don't have to.
Okay, message you
Yeah.
on Facebook. So all right, I'm just going to put that in the notes here.
And then if you are looking for some more in-depth um, teaching, training, education on boosting the immune system, I would definitely encourage people to reach out to drkarenleggett.com.
Okay.
She's a medical doctor. She has tons of knowledge on the topic of balancing hormones and neurotransmitters and stress and all the chemicals involved with that. There's Dr. Jenny at Age Vital.
Yes.
She's got the practice there doing IV infusions. I wish I was there. I got to help her a little bit this summer. That was really great. I got to meet
And
Leo.
yeah, I got to meet you. That was a so awesome thing. Now we're right down on timing here. So yes, there's a lot of ways and there's